Hello and welcome back to another video on my channel. I just wanted to talk about something you might want to consider doing before the end of the Christmas event this year. Some of you will have been farming the snowballs from the Christmas village, and there are a few uses for these. I mean, I say a few. Well, the first way to use them is to throw them at Smokey the Coal for extra Christmas spirit. However, if you're sat there AFKing snowballs, you definitely have more that you need to throw at Mr. Little Smoky. There are other options you can do with your stacks of snowballs. You can destroy them, but where's the fun in that? There's a potential chance that they are going to get removed from the game after the event is over anyway, so that you're just wasting your time, unless you need the bank space. But there is another option, and it's probably the better option out of the two that you can do with any remaining snowballs. And that's disassembling them. So as long as you've unlocked invention, you can do this method. Now you can just stand there continuing getting the small amount of crafting XP that you can gain from AFKing the pile of snow. However, the materials you can get from disassembling the snowballs may actually be better for you in the long term, as the materials that are gained from disassembling the snowballs are quite useful materials throughout the game. So let's go through them individually and see what each material can be used to make. Starting with simple parts. For the perks, you can get looting, items, a charge pack if you haven't got one already, divine charges both empty and full, equipment siphons, potion reservoirs, and the spring cleaner. The machines, you can get an auto disassembler, plant maker, and simple generator. Blade parts, the perks are biting and honed, and items wise you can get both the standard weapon gizmo shell and ancient weapon gizmo shell. For spiked parts, perks include flanking, genocidal, taunting. There are no machines or items that you can make with these parts, but for some people these perks may be handy when it comes to combat. Sharp components give flanking, furnace, honed and taunting perks. Items wise, the Blackpack Depacker, the kinetic cyclone, woodcutting accumulator, and the machines, the auto disassembler Mark II, and a high capacity plank maker. And the final material of the five is swift components. For the perks, you can get Impsold, Invigorating, items wise, a fishing rod-o-matic, and for whatever reason you might want one of these, a pogo stick. Now this isn't an exhausted list, I've just kind of picked out anything that I would recommend considering, as some of the items or perks are basically tosh. You don't want to go near them. Now I've tried to do as much research as I possibly could to get the answers for you on this, but if the event ends on the 4th and the snowballs are removed from the game, then of course you've only got until the 4th. Whether there's going to be a grace period after this event, I couldn't tell you. But that's why I made this guide as soon as I could. And finally, I thought I'd just wrap up this video by tracking the number of materials gained from 1000 disassembles, one from my maxed account and the other on a lower invention level, to hopefully give a guide to everyone, not just those with 120 invention. So to start with, let's have a look at the chances for each of them. As you can see, simple, blade and spiked are all quite often, and sharp and swift are rare. Chances for materials a total of 8, and the junk chance is pretty high, so just remember this is on a maxed invention account, and I have unlocked all of the junk chance reducers. Each disassemble uses 50 snowballs, and so that means for every 60 that you do, that's 3000 snowballs in total in a 70-second disassembling run. For this as well, I am going to be using the invention master cape, so there's an increased chance of receiving components when disassembling. When I do the results on my other account, it will be started at level 1 invention and no items to assist the components. Earlier on I mentioned that I was going to disassemble 1000 snowballs on both accounts. However, I decided to do 5000 because of course the more disassembles we do, the better the results. And not only that, I did another 5000 after that, and then 5000 again. So then I had 3 sets of data to make an average from, but an even more accurate result for these disassembles. As mentioned earlier, I'm doing 2 different separate statistics, one with 120 invention and one with less than 5 invention. That way everybody will find their place within these metrics. So starting with the 5000 disassembles, it only takes 2 minutes to do 5000 because every single disassemble, which is roughly 2-3 ticks, is 50 snowballs. You can see here the difference between the maxed invention and the less than 5 invention and all the parts that you gain from that. Here is after 10 minutes, which equates to 25,000 snowballs. And then finally, just to round it off, to an hour, which is worth 150,000 snowballs. And to be honest, most people are not going to have that many. So realistically think about the results you get here and if it's worth some of that AFK time of yours in the next few days. These times even give you way more than enough time to actually start the next set of 60 disassembles that's been calculated into these results. What you can do as well is look at the rarity of the material and kind of swap and change. So what I've done here is I've shown simple blade and spiked as a green symbol for common and sharp and swift as an orangey reddy sort of colour for uncommon, and I've displayed the total materials gained after 10 minutes for that rarity. That way you will get some combination of the materials of each rarity close to the totals at the top right corner. For example, let's take a look at the sharp and swift components gained after 1 hour at max invention. I'm only picking this because it's an easy number. This method translates no matter which part you're looking at, as long as you do it the way that I'm going to show you. So it says after 1 hour, 120 sharp, 60 swift, which totals 180, just like I've put in the top right corner for uncommon. However, it could be any combination of these as long as it adds up to 180. So for example, it could be the opposite way around, 60 sharp, 120 swift, or it could be, 90 of each, it could be 80 of one, 100 of the other, as long as it adds up to 180. However, these are my averages and your results may differ, but these are a good indication for most players. Anyway, I hope this tip will serve you well, and if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more, I generally do try and be as detailed as possible with the results on my guides. If you like that sort of thing, please consider subscribing, and that way you'll be there for my next video. For now, take care guys. Oh, links to the materials are in the description below. Happy scaping.